What is going on, everybody? This is the Honest Texan. Welcome to the Honest Texan podcast. Hopefully, we have a great show for you today. I've been gone for a little bit, but not that long. I've been battling an ear infection, which sucks incredibly. Today, like I said, I hope I have a good show for you today. But first, go and check out the honesttexan.com website. It's up, it's running. Check out the great articles that we're writing over there. Also, the podcast will be linked over there, as well as videos and news stories. So check that out, and probably more stuff to come. So check out the honesttexan.com. Go subscribe to it. And hey, there's even a donate down there. So donate whatever you can, so we can keep doing what we're doing here at the Honest Texan. Thank you very much. We love you all. So today, there's a few topics I want to talk about. First, I want to get on the topic of Chicago and the mayor and the violence that's been going on there for I don't know how long now, for a while, because it is deemed Chiraq. And for most people that don't know, the reason why Chicago was called Chiraq is because at one point in time, or actually during the Iraq War, Chicago racked up more killings, more deaths than the actual war in Iraq. So there's what you get. That's what you call Chiraq. So this past weekend, at least 5 people were killed and 47 others wounded in shootings across Chicago over the weekend, according to NBC5 Chicago. In the most recent fatal attack, a man was shot dead while driving in Humboldt Park early Sunday. The 21-year-old was driving a Jeep about 1:40 a.m. in the 3100 block of West Augusta Boulevard when a car pulled up next to him and someone inside fired shots, the Chicago police said. The man was shot in the head. Police said a passenger in the Jeep drove him to Stroger Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Less than an hour earlier, a woman was fatally shot in Bucktown on the north side. She was riding in a vehicle about 1 a.m. in the 2100 block of North Oakley Avenue when another vehicle drove up alongside and someone inside opened fire, striking the woman. The 32-year-old was dropped off at St. Mary's and Elizabeth Medical Center, where she was pronounced dead. Humboldt Park saw another fatal shooting Saturday night. About 9:15 p.m., a man and a woman were ambushed in the 3200 block of West Division Street by 3 gunmen who fired shots at them. The man, 24, was rushed to St. Mary's and Elizabeth Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. The 25-year-old woman was struck in the neck and rushed to Stroger Hospital in critical condition. Yeah, I remember this story. This is actually on World Star Hip Hop too, and this is all over the news. 3 men surrounded the vehicle, drugged the man out and the woman out, and executed the man and shot the woman. And the woman did later die. Update to that story. So that's crazy stuff that's going on in Chicago. Again, 47 wounded, 5 killed over the weekend. And where is the mayor of Chicago? What is she doing about it? Let's see what Mayor Lori Lightfoot is actually doing to curb the violence in her community, in her city. Oh wait, here she goes. Racism is declared a public health crisis in Chicago, says the mayor. At almost every single point in our city's history, racism has taken a devastating toll on the health and well-being of our residents of color, especially those who are black, Mayor Lori Lightfoot said. This is from the Chicago Sun-Times. Yep, she declared racism a public health crisis. So, instead of addressing the violence that's in the community, instead of trying to help those low people in low-income communities and the black people that she says she loves, she declares racism a public health crisis, but it's not racism that's killing a lot of little black folks in Chicago. It ain't. It's not racism that's doing all that. It's other black folks. It's criminals. And something's got to be done about it. Now, what is supposed to happen as a mayor, I've never been a mayor, but I'm assuming that you're supposed to curb the crime, that you're supposed to have as low as crime as you possibly can have. But apparently that's not the case for this, because Chicago's been like this for the longest. But instead of actually trying to curb the violence. Instead of actually trying to actually help the community, she's more focused on racism. Again, this is the same mayor who banned white journalists, so they can't, this is the same mayor who banned white journalists, so they can't ask her questions. That's racism. You're in the position of power, and you're using that position of power based on racism. Now, that's definition for racism changes apparently, but if you're judging someone based on the content of their skin instead of their character, then you're just a racist in general. But yeah, she's a racist. I'm sorry, in my opinion, the Chicago mayor, Lori Lightfoot, is a damn racist. Because how are you going to discriminate against a group of journalists based on their race and promote another group of journalists based on their race? I get that there might not be a lot of people of color or black folks or Hispanics or whatever in journalism, but there really are. It just might not be for that city, and they might not want to work that beat. But again, this is what the mayor is focused on. The mayor is focused on racism instead of what? Actual violence, actual economy, actual infrastructure, all of that. But she's focused on that. Make that make sense. In the words of Tommy Sotomayor, make that make sense. Seriously. Because this is a damn shame. You have a American city. I don't know what the population is exactly in Chicago, but it's been going downhill for a very long time. And people there, I'd hope that they vote differently because they keep voting Democratic. And I'm not saying that you have to vote Republican, but I am saying vote for people with your best interests at heart, because evidently these aldermen, the mayor, all of these people that you vote for are not doing a good job. They're not doing a good job at all. And the whole world sees it, the whole United States sees it. And it's not just Chicago, there's other cities, such as Atlanta. Atlanta, has been very good to black folks in the past, but it's also been very violent. It's so bad in Atlanta that the city or the suburb Buckhead is threatening to succeed and become its own city, which I believe it actually can. Which is, it's also an article that's written at thehonesttexan.com. Go check it out. But the city of Atlanta has been getting real wild. I mean, there were constant videos coming out during the All-Star weekend in Atlanta for the NBA, where there's a lot of violence, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of BS going on. And you know what the Atlanta mayor is focused on, instead of focusing on trying to provide or trying to better her city where it counts? No, you know what she did? She signed an order to make 100 city restrooms all gender. And this is according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. More than 100 publicly available single-user bathrooms in Atlanta are now required to be gender inclusive, available to anyone regardless of gender, after Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms signed an administrative order into law Wednesday during the Pride Month. The all-gender restroom will be available across city facilities, including Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport, according to the mayor's office. A spokesman from the mayor's office Friday said City Council does not have to vote to ratify Bottoms' order. Approximately 113 restrooms will be affected by this rule, according to a copy of the order obtained by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. The order also requires new restroom signage wherever it's necessary by June 28th, which is the 52nd anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. Bottoms' order is the last breakthrough in efforts to make public spaces safer for people who face discrimination based on gender identity. Last year, a federal appeals court in Atlanta ruled transgender high school students must have access to bathrooms matching their gender identity. Well, if that's the case, I would think that they would have created a separate bathroom for transgender people. But I guess not. I guess they're just going to make all the restrooms, public restrooms, gender neutral. But yet, there's violence going on in your city, Mayor. But yet, a city councilman was robbed by kids. Yeah, you heard me, kids. A city council member who who was in favor of defunding the police, by the way, was robbed and carjacked by kids. I believe the ages were from like 9 to 12, maybe 9 to 15. But these are kids, American kids at that, and they're out doing this. See, that's a whole nother subject I'm gonna get into a little bit later. But I want to focus on what these mayors are doing. See, you have the mayor of Chicago focusing on racism, not focusing on the uptick in violence, not focusing on the mass shootings that go on there every single day to help her citizens out. No, she's focusing on racism being a public health crisis. And then wants to blame the guns instead of the criminals. Wants to blame the guns instead of the failed policies that they have. Okay, whatever. It's a gun, it's a tool. You can't do nothing with it unless you pick it up. So now you have the mayor of Atlanta signing this order to make these restrooms gender neutral, instead of addressing what's going on in her city, instead of addressing that their suburb Buckhead, the richest city or the richest neighborhood in their city, is threatening to succeed and become its own city and have its own law enforcement, which can really happen, by the way, folks. See, the crazy thing about it is the counties in Oregon are trying to do the same thing they're trying to succeed to Idaho, but they face a lot more opposition than the city Buckhead does in Atlanta, because they can actually do it. They've already filed the paperwork and everything. So we're just gonna wait and see what happens. And if that happens, then Atlanta loses a lot of those tax dollars from those rich people out there, And like I said, Atlanta's just getting wild, Atlanta's getting crazy. And what does the mayor do? No, she just signs an order making public restrooms gender neutral, because that's a priority instead of people's lives. Yeah. Okay. Priorities, people. Priorities. And then next we have Gavin Newsom, in my opinion, the failed governor of California. He's done a terrible job. Hell, I think a lot of these mayors and governors in these places have done a terrible job. I think Governor Whitmer in Michigan has done a terrible job. We're gonna get on that next. But for right now, let's go to California and let's talk about Gavin Newsom's recall. That's right, folks. It's only happened, I think this is only the second time ever in California's history where they have a recall for the governor. So let's get into it. This is by Newsweek. This is a story on Newsweek. California Governor Gavin Newsom odds of surviving a recall election later this year have improved recently, according to bookmakers Betfair. The odds of Newsom not being recalled have shortened from 1/8 to 1/10, meaning they deem it increasingly likely Newsom will survive the vote and retain his position. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of people in California that do not want him in office. Of course, there's a lot of money that wants him in office because he does their bidding. But I think as far as the people go, I believe the people want his behind out, because he's done a terrible job. He's done a terrible job of mismanaging California in general. Especially the mayors and everything else, their policies are terrible. Taxes are high. Sorry, folks. Taxes are high. He's not doing anything about immigration. Hell, look at the video that came out of San Francisco alone. They got a policy in California that, if I'm not mistaken, you will not be charged with a felony for stealing less than $900 of merchandise. If I'm not mistaken, look it up, folks. Right now everybody's seen a video come out of San Francisco where this guy is on a bike, just riding all willy-nilly, and he fills his bag up with I don't know how many products, but a bunch of products, and he walks out, or he rides his bike out. No one did anything to try to stop him. There was a security guard that just grabbed at the bag but really didn't do anything. But again, what can you do when the law says that they will not charge people for stealing less than $900 of merchandise, and you can be prosecuted or charged with a crime for trying to stop them? I wouldn't want to. I just want to be there. That's just me. I wouldn't want to do it. But it is what it is, I guess. This is what's going on in these cities, folks, in these states. This is what's going on. And like I said, Newsom has done a terrible job. It really is. I mean, he's done a terrible job. But Caitlyn Jenner, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, she's running for governor. We'll see what she can do. She might do a lot better job. I mean, even the actor Arnold Schwarzenegger did a pretty good job when he was there, and I didn't think he was going to do a good job, but he did. And he recently just came out and said that the office of the governor was so stressful on his kids did not want him to be governor no more. So, I mean, these are all things that have been happening, folks, and it's unbelievably crazy how all this is going on in these cities. Instead of them focusing on the people, instead of them focusing on what matters, this is what's going on. And even here in Texas, in Houston, an update on those nurses that went on strike and because of the whole mandated vaccination policy that the hospital had at Houston Methodist. 153 hospital staff were either fired or they had to resign because since the judge Lynn Hughes, U.S. District Judge Lynn Hughes ruling, they had to quit or they were fired. So I mean, look, I understand being vaccinated. I do. I understand that health is very important. I get that. I really do. COVID is not a joke. I've had personally, I've had people die from the disease in my own family, and it's like I said, it's not a good thing. But again, I'm for the people's choice, because that's what this country is about. I don't believe that anyone should be mandated to do anything. I don't believe that you should have to get vaccinated to have a job. I don't think that you should have to get vaccinated to go shopping. I don't think you should have to get vaccinated to go attend a concert. Foo Fighters. I don't think you should have to get vaccinated to do anything. Look, it is your individual choice as a person in this country, as a United States citizen in this country. It is your individual choice, right? Now, people may want you to do this, but then again, the argument is said for abortion, right? So you can have an argument on both sides. My body, my choice. But that's a whole nother topic in general anyway. But I don't believe that anyone should be forced to get vaccinated or to have something put in their body. One, it's still experimental. This has been said in the U.S. Congress. It's been experimental, okay? I saw this on C-SPAN, where they said that it's still experimental. One, it's experimental because the FDA has only granted emergency authorization use and has not actually been approved. And now you have this other issue that's going on with the vaccine with the I think it was called mRNA, within the vaccine that is giving kids or giving younger adults heart inflammation problems. So, I mean, again, you listen to your doctors. Don't listen to me. But my job as a journalist is to just ask questions, and these are the questions that I'm asking. If the COVID vaccine has not been officially approved, right, and has not been thoroughly tested, because they're testing it right now. So, but why would I want to put that in my body if I don't even know the long-term effects? Because we don't know the long-term effects of the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, again, I get people that take the vaccine. I get people that understand. I get people that have taken the vaccine. I get it. And I understand people that want to take it. I understand that completely. And that's great for you. But it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's not. Everybody's different. And not everybody believes in the big pharma. Not everybody believes in the pharmaceutical companies that are doing these things. Not everybody believes the government when it comes to these things. Again, for me, eventually I might take it after I see the long-term effects, after I see everything that's been done with it. And it just depends on the situation then. But for now, I don't plan on taking it at all. And in the state of Texas, you cannot be forced to take it, at least, in my position or whatever, you cannot. Other than what the judge ruled for the hospitals, which it does set a dangerous precedent. So, and I'm going to talk to a lawyer about that too, because I want to know more about that. But it's crazy to think that people are going to make you take something that's experimental, and no one thinks that that's not right. It's not okay. Again, as a person that's unvaccinated, I understand why people get vaccinated. I understand why people are vaccinated. Hell, I've been vaccinated for a bunch of other diseases, right? But yet, that doesn't matter. It only seems to matter that I get vaccinated for this disease. I'm not afraid of COVID like that. I'm more afraid of Ebola. You know why? Because when Ebola came to Texas, people were starting to die. They were starting to die a lot faster than people that had COVID. Okay? But that's my reasoning. That's my thinking. So I don't believe that people should be forced to take this vaccine. I believe it's a choice. Let everybody who wants to take it, and those who don't want to take it, don't take it. And for those cities, for those mayors, for those governors, for whoever that are trying to get people to take this damn vaccine, cool, but you don't try to entice people like that, or do entrapment. You're offering people money. You're doing a lottery. I think it was either in Ohio. Yeah, I think it was Ohio that they offered $1 million lottery for people to take the COVID vaccine, and only one person won. And I'm like, so now this is what it's come to. This is what it has come to. Offering prizes, money, whatever, so people can get vaccinated. And no one wants to question this. No one wants to say how odd this is. No, I'm sorry. It is odd as hell. Yes, and I question everything. I question everything until I can't. And until I got my answers, until I got the truth. And I'm sorry, you have all these different places that are trying to provide incentives for people to get the vaccine. New York, I believe, the governor, I think it was the governor, with his sorry behind, and I'll get on him in a minute, with those 15,000 deaths that are on his hands. But he was offering cheeseburgers and I think some money and some other stuff for people to get vaccinated. But it's crazy because let the people decide. This is what this country is founded on, is freedom of choice for one. So let the people decide, right? And with Governor Cuomo and his crooked brother that works for CNN, there's something to be said about that family. There's something to be said about those two brothers. And there's definitely something to be said about the governor of New York, Cuomo, letting 15,000 elderly die of COVID because he was told not to put the sick into these nursing homes, but he did. And once he did that, the deaths just kept mounting. Again, there was a big scandal, but then, he found a way around it to get, the news off of him. But no, I'm sorry. He killed 15,000 people. And he knew of the risk. He knew that this could happen, but he still did it anyway. And no one is talking about that no more. 15,000 lives lost because this governor, decides to do what he wants, and he got people killed for it. He should be in jail. At the very least, he shouldn't be governor no more at all. But again, the people have to do it. The people have to see it. The people have to want it. And the people in charge of the law, the police officers, the DAs, these attorneys, right? They have to do it. They have to charge. They have to have the balls to do their job. And a lot of these people don't. You can look at Portland, look at Seattle, right? Portland's entire riot squad police quit, just like that, because you're letting all the people that they arrested, they're letting out. The district attorney is not prosecuting anybody. They're just letting them right back out on the street. So what does it matter? Why even try to pick them up? And then they go and try to arrest a photographer and they beat him. I don't know if it was her or him, but the guy gets arrested. The police officer gets arrested, and because I'm pretty sure, it's that a photographer was part of Antifa. And for those that don't know, Antifa is supposed to be anti-fascist, but they use fascist tactics to get what they want. So who is the real fascist? Just saying. But yeah, all their whole riot squad quit, and now recently you've seen the Proud Boys and Antifa go at it in the parks. It's probably gonna get a lot worse. Crime is skyrocketing in Portland, and crime is also skyrocketing around Seattle. All these different places, crime has gone up. Hell, even in the city of Dallas and Houston, where it is ran by Democrats, the crime is skyrocketing. It's going up, and it's crazy. It's unbelievable. And that's why I'm glad that the governor of Texas passed the constitutional carry. It gives law-abiding citizens a better chance of fighting for their lives. It gives them a better chance of defending themselves and their families. And because again, the police are a necessary evil, but you can't just rely on the police all day, every day. If someone breaks into your house, you call the police. Okay, cool. In the meantime, that robber's still breaking into your house. What are you gonna do? Yes, you have a few choices. You can wait and get robbed. You can do something about it as far as, trying to take on the robber, but there's always that risk. So I get people that will just not do anything. I do understand that, because in the end, you never know what you're gonna do in that moment. But I rather people defend themselves, because if the more people you have defend themselves with weapons, then the less you'll have these criminals come around trying to break in. They're looking for easy targets for one. So, but yeah, these mayors, these governors, they all got to be better. The Chicago mayor, the Atlanta mayor the Atlanta mayor, Governor Newsom, he's got to do better. Governor Cuomo, and let's talk about Whitmer. She's done a terrible job during the COVID. So much so that people tried to forcibly oust her. Now, I don't believe in that unless, I don't believe in using violence unless it's absolutely necessary in the last minute and you can't do nothing else. Then I get it. But, vote her out. That's the whole point of being a democracy or a democratic republic. Vote them out. Vote these politicians out. That's what matters. Vote them out. And vote in someone that's actually going to do something. Because if I'm not mistaken, even the Flint water is still bad. But you don't hear about that no more. Flint, Michigan's water is still trash. It's still garbage. And someone, they need to do something about that. That is just awful. That's terrible. There's no way that this should be happening in an American city. It really shouldn't. Or in a developed world. This should not be happening. To where the water is just gone bad. I don't know, folks. They got to do something. This is just terrible in my opinion. These governors, these politicians, they got to do something. And now we have Kamala Harris after 91 or 93 days. She's finally visiting the border. She's going to El Paso. Hopefully she just does something about that. And that remains, and you know what? That brings me to this one point about COVID. If COVID was so damn dangerous, or if people, and I'm not going to say it's dangerous, but if people really gave a shit, if these politicians really gave a damn, if Joe Biden, if Kamala Harris, if all these politicians out here, all the Congress people that are saying all these things that you need to get vaccinated and all that, but yet they're allowing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of illegal immigrants into the country, untested, unvaccinated, all of that, right? So they don't really give a damn at all about the illegal immigrants that are just coming over here, because folks, they are just releasing them within the population instead of actually trying to figure out what's going on. Biden, I believe a few months ago, or maybe a month ago, repealed a Trump order. I think I forgot what it was called, but it's supposed to be allowing like 60,000 or so illegal immigrants legally in. So But then the Supreme Court just ruled not too long the Supreme Court just ruled about a few weeks ago that the 400,000 immigrants that were here, illegal immigrants that were here, cannot receive a green card. So what does that take? You gotta come here the right way, come here legally. I mean, there are Hispanic people, there are African people, there are people of all different backgrounds, races that have come here legally and want other people to come here legally. No skipping the line. And then for my black community, and this black folks, I'm talking to you right now, why would you want illegal immigration to skyrocket? Because that hurts you first of all. See, that hurts us as a community. Because one, y'all don't see it, and this is just a theory of mine, but y'all don't see it. The Democrats are pushing black folks out of the Democratic Party. To where you're not going to be, the Democrats won't have to count on your vote no more. They won't have to listen to your bitching all the time anymore. But hopefully, Republican black folks see it, conservative black folks see it. Those who have left the Democratic Party, they see it. But the people that continue to vote for Democrats in the black community, they don't see it. Give it maybe 5 more years, black folks gonna be irrelevant in the Democratic Party. And then you're gonna be sitting there with your thumb in your mouth. What happened? What happened? Why aren't they listening to me? They don't need you no more. They got a different voting block. But, I wish more black folks would see this. And again, it's just a theory. It's just a theory of mine. I believe that this is what is trying to happen. Again, illegal immigration hurts the black community. Hell, look at Mississippi. When they arrested all those illegal immigrants at the chicken plants, you know who came and got those jobs? Black folks did. And they had to pay them a living wage. They had to pay them a good living wage and benefits. See, you don't have to do that with illegal immigrants. You can just pay them in cash and they be on their way. But for American citizens, no, you have to have all these different things. You have to have the insurances. You have to have the paperwork, all of that. So, black folks, illegal immigration is bad for y'all. Listen to me. Understand this. I get it. Trust me, I understand. But illegal immigration is bad for the black community. And you need to understand this. Look it up. Stats prove it. So I'm just going to leave it at that. There's going to be another show soon. I'm going to put another up. So I'm going to try to have guests on. But again, people, if your politicians are doing crappy jobs, vote them out. I saw where I think New York elected to keep Mayor de Blasio. I think he's done a terrible job. I'm not saying that Yang could do better, but he probably could have done better than the Mayor de Blasio. But, again, these are what the people vote for. Hopefully the people don't vote for Mayor Lori Lightfoot again, because she's just been terrible. She's been awful. But, look at your politicians, folks. If they're more focused on bathrooms, on the cosmetics of all this stuff, instead of focusing on the economy, better and helping people better their lives, on what could help you, then it's time to vote them out. That's what the whole Constitution is about. That's what this Democratic Republic is about. You can vote these people out. So I implore everybody who is listening, research your politicians that are in your area, and if they're not doing what you want them to do, kick them out. Vote them out next term. Otherwise, that's how you get dinosaurs that you got in there in the Congress today. I mean, look at Bernie Sanders. He's been around for such a long time, same position. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all these people have been in there and what have they done? I believe Nancy Pelosi's over San Francisco, and look how shitty San Francisco's become. They have poop patrols in San Francisco. Poop patrols, people. It's not like they're picking up dog shit. No, they're picking up people shit. Excuse my language. They have poop patrols going on. Look it up. Research it. Don't just believe me. Do research. Do your research, people. That's what the American people need to start doing more, is researching. Educate yourself. We're living in an age of information right now. Your phone literally is a computer that you can access pretty much anything in the world with. Any kind of information you want. Look it up. With that said, thank you for tuning in. This has been the Honest Texan podcast. Be on the lookout for another podcast coming up. Again, check out thehonesttexan.com. Go subscribe. If you like it, please donate. Thank you for those that have been donating. Without y'all, we can't do what we do here at the Honest Texan. So again, check out thehonesttexan.com. Y'all have a great day. Thank you and God bless.